ख्वाहिशें ऐसी कि हर ख्वाहिश में दम निकले, बहुत निकले मेरे अरमान लेकिन फिर भी कम निकले. With these lines of Mirza Ghalib, I introduce Major Mohammed Ali Shah. With great pride, I'm doing this. A veteran army officer, a poet, author, motivational speaker, award-winning actor, scriptwriter, and renowned TED speaker. His biodata is so long that we would need at least an hour to read it. He will introduce us to one of India's great Urdu shairs, Mirza Ghalib. Over to you, dear poet. We would love to hear you this evening.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Good evening, everyone, and Jai Hind. Thank you, Prasanna Bhai. Hello, Sundar ma'am. Thank you.
Jai Hind.
Dr. Sultan Saab, Puna ma'am, and to all our wonderful viewers who are listening to us right now. Welcome to this wonderful evening of poetry and fun and frolic. Well, I am to speak on Mirza Ghalib, one of the greatest poets of our time. I was a small child, and that time I have seen my father's younger brother. He's an actor, Mr. Nasiruddin Shah. He was preparing to be Mirza Ghalib for Guldar Saab serial on Doordarshan. So I used to often observe him from very close and how hard he worked and such things. And I also realized one thing, apart from knowing the history of Mirza Ghalib Saab, Mirza Ghalib Saab also wrote several letters which people are not aware of. Like the way in today's world, we find people, just like we find some viewers here who are viewing it on Facebook Live at the same time, they are checking their WhatsApp. The gentleman in the red shirt and who can I see? Then the lady in the blue top. You are checking your phones, you are doing WhatsApp, right? Similarly, Mirza Ghalib used to write letters. And now Satinder ma'am is looking, how can he see the lady in the blue shirt and the Satinder ma'am, am I right? I was just trying to connect with the audience there. So don't worry, I don't have such a software installed. So, Ghalib Saab used to write letters. And his letters, the way we send tweets and on Facebook, like that. Those letters I know by heart, all of them. I learned them as a child. I will recite a few of them to you. But let me tell you, in the year 1857. Okay, one question for all of you, for all our viewers, not the participants. Don't be scared. Don't worry. So the viewers, which year did the mutiny, the revolt of 1857 take place? Obviously 1857. So in the year 1857, in Bahadur Shah Zafar's court, Mirza Ghalib Saab and his ustad, his jinke wo shagird reh chuke the, whose shagird he was, whose pupil or disciple he was a gentleman by the name of Nawab Hasan Zokh. Now Zokh Saab was Mirza Ghalib's teacher. But the greatest success of a teacher is when the teacher sees their own students surpass them, am I right? So Mirza Ghalib Saab surpassed Zokh Saab. But there was solid rivalry between them in Bahadur Shah Zafar's court. They would be Jugal Bandi and a whole lot of their session just used to go on and they would not end. And Mirza Ghalib was a great poet. So was Bahadur Shah Zafar. Like he wrote several nazms like Lagta nahi hai ji mera ujre dayar mein kiski bani hai na. So he wrote several poems, Bahadur Shah Zafar as well. But now let me come to Mirza Ghalib Saab's letters. So one day the Britishers who were ruling India at that time, they called him. So now, yeah, come here. Are you a Muslim? They asked him. He said, his answer was, well, I am a half Muslim. A half Muslim? What does that mean? He says, I drink alcohol, but I don't eat pork. So I'm a half Muslim. Like, what a question. And he had a very wicked sense of humor. So like his sense of humor is, you can see his letters. Like for example, his close aide by the name of Mirza Tafta. Mirza Tafta's beloved wife, she passed away. So he wrote a letter in condolence in Taziyat. And many of you may not understand Urdu, so I'll translate it for you. because it took me 8 readings to understand in Urdu what it actually means. So he wrote, Gham na khao, don't be sad. Chunna jaan na sahi, munna jaan sahi. And what he meant was, please pardon me, please forgive me, I don't mean that. I am not saying that. Ghalib Sahib wrote that, right? Don't be sad. There's plenty of fish in the sea, is what he meant. Gham na khao, chunna jaan na sahi, munna jaan sahi. जब मैं बहिश्त का तस्वुर करता हूं, when I think of the day of paradise, the judgment day, the world has come to an end, और सोचता हूं, and I think, and I fantasize, and I visualize, अगर मगफिरत हो गई, मगफिरत means मेरे सारे गुनाह माफ कर दिए गए हों, I have been pardoned of all my sins, and I am going to attain heaven. अगर मगफिरत हो गई, एक कसर मिला और एक हूर मिली, I have got a castle. Kasr means a castle. Or a hoor, a beautiful damsel. And in that beautiful castle, right? एक कसर मिला और एक हूर मिली, अकामत जा वैदानी है और उसी ने एक वक्त के साथ जिंदगानी है. Which means there is no afterlife hereafter. There's only one particular life. And it is going to be permanency over here. इस सोच से जी घबराता है और कलेजा मुंह को आता है. Which means I get restless with this thought that there's no going to be afterlife hereafter. It's going to be permanent life in that beautiful castle, mansion, with that beautiful hoor. But there's permanency here. Just too bad. और कलेजा मुंह को आता है, हाय हाय वो हूर अजीरन हो जावेगी. Ajiran in Urdu means intolerable. Hoor, beautiful damsel. Even though she's so beautiful and she's a damsel, she will become intolerable for me because there's going to be permanency. I have to live my entire life with that one particular hoor. हाय हाय वो हूर अजीरन हो जाएगी, तबीयत क्यों ना घबरावेगी. Now I get restless with the thought, why should I not feel upset about it? मियाँ होश में आओ, कहीं और दिल लगाओ. What he meant to say was, you're so lucky, yeah, she's passed away, it's all right. Come on, get hold of yourself, look somewhere else. So this was his sense of humor. Then he writes, one day his wife's nephew Nawab Alai bumped into him in the marketplace. He was going in a rickshaw. So Mirza Ghalib writes tells him that, "Kyun miyan, kya baat hai? Tum khat nahi likhte?" Which means, what's the problem, yeah? Why don't you write to me? It's like sending a WhatsApp message to somebody, and the WhatsApp message has got 2 ticks, 2 blue ticks, which means the message has been delivered, it has been read, but the other person did not bother to reply you back. So we get very emotional about it. We get very touchy. See, I wrote to Poonam ma'am, and Poonam ma'am read the message. 2 blue ticks also came, but she didn't reply back to me. How mean is that, right? So, no, but Poonam ma'am is very nice. She would not do that. But this is like, I was just trying to explain that, you know. And so he writes, "Kyun miyan, kya baat hai? Tum khat nahi likhte aajkal mere ko?" So he writes, Nawab Alai says, "No, actually, I don't know your address. I don't know where to deliver the letter. I don't know your, so I don't know." It's like making excuse. I don't know your Insta ID or your LinkedIn ID or your Twitter ID or your Facebook ID, or don't know your email address nowadays. So Mirza Ghalib feels very bad. He goes back home. He writes a stinker to him. And what does he write? He writes, I'll translate it for you after the letter. He writes, 50 बरस से दिल्ली में रहता हूं, हजारा खत अतराफ और जवानिब से आते हैं. बहुत लोग ऐसे हैं जो मोहल्ला नहीं लिखते, सिर्फ शहर का नाम और मेरा नाम. ये सब मरातिब तुम जानते हो और उन खुद को भी तुम देख चुके हो, और फिर मुझसे पूछते हो अपना मस्कन बता. अगर मैं तुम्हारे नजदीक अमीर नहीं, ना सही अहले हरफा में से भी नहीं हूं कि जब तक मोहल्ला और थाना ना लिखा जावे, हर कारा मेरा पता ना बतावे. आप सिर्फ दहली लिखकर मेरा नाम लिख दिया कीजिए, खत पहुंचने का मैं शामिल. Now it means I live in Delhi for 50 years. 50 बरस से दिल्ली में रहता हूं. Thousands of letters come from different people. हजारा खत अतराफ और जवानिब से आते हैं. बहुत lot of people don't even write the address. They just write Delhi and they write Mirza Ghalib on top, my name and the city's name. That's about it. And the letter reaches me. Yeah, come on, have a heart. And you can't write a letter to me. You being my nephew, my wife's nephew, you can't write a letter to me. सिर्फ शहर का नाम और मेरा नाम, ये सब मरातिब तुम जानते हो, यू नो ऑल दी स्टोरीज, और उन खुतूत को भी तुम देख चुके हो. इफ यू थिंक आई एम लाइंग, यू हैव सीन दोस लेटर्स व्हिच हैव कम ओनली बाय माय नेम एंड बाय द सिटीज नेम. और एंड देन डिस्पाइट दैट यू हैव द चीक टू आस्क मी अपना मस्कन बता. Tell me your address. I don't know your address. Is that a good enough reason not to write letters to me? आप सिर्फ दहली लिखकर नाम लिख दिया कीजिए. You just write Delhi and write my name on top. Mirza Ghalib. That's about it. I'm so famous, the letter will reach me. What an attitude, yeah. What an attitude, Mirza Ghalib. खत पहुंचने का मैं ज़ामिन. I take the responsibility and I assure you and I guarantee you, I warranty you that the letter will reach me. Then Mirza Ghalib comes on the troubled times. He writes a letter to Nawab Alai once again. And he writes, अब मैं और 62 रुपये 8 आने कलेक्ट्री के, 100 रुपये रामपुर के, इनकम टैक्स जुदा, सूद जुदा, बीवी जुदा, बच्चे जुदा, शागिर्द पेशा जुदा, चौकीदार जुदा, तंग आ गया, गुजारा मुश्किल हो गया. सुबह की तबरीद मतरूक, चाश्त का गोश्त आधा, सुबह की रात खुराब मौकूफ, 20-22 रुपया महीना बचा. यारों ने पूछा तबरीद और शराब कब तक ना पियोगे? जवाब दिया, जब तक वो ना पिलाएंगे. जो ना पियोगे तो किस तरह जियोगे? जब तक वो ना पिलाएंगे. महीना पूरा नहीं गुजरा था कि रामपुर से अलावा सवाई मुकर्ररी और रुपया आ गया. खैर हो, सुबह की तबरीद, रात की शराब जारी हो गई, गोश्त पूरा आने लगा. So he writes, what he means is, now I am only left with only 50 rupees. अब मैं और 62 रुपये 50 आने. I'm giving an example. It's a limited amount of money. Out of this much money I have to give for this for my various expenditures. But despite that, I sacrifice my morning. Though I used to have, like, we have tea, we have, some people have warm lemon water with lemon, right? So I forwent my morning drink. I forgo my night evening alcohol. I became a vegetarian. But yet I was short of money. But suddenly from nowhere, सवाई मुकर्ररी रामपुर से अलावा सवाई मुकर्ररी और रुपये आ गया. There was more money which came to me from nowhere. And then life again started the way it should have been. That's how. And then once again he's on a troubled times. He writes, मियाँ मैं बड़ी मुसीबत में हूँ, महलसरा की दीवारें गिर गई हैं, तुम्हारी फुप्पी कहती है हाय दबी हाय मरी. दीवान खाने का हाल महलसरा से बदतर है. मैं मरने से नहीं डरता, फुकदाने राहत से घबरा गए हो. छत छलनी है, अब 2 घंटा बरसे तो छत 4 घंटे बरसती है. अगर तुमसे हो सके तो भाई से मुझको वो हवेली जहां अमीर हसन रहते थे और कोठी में से वो बला खाना में दिलाने ज़ेरी जो इलाही बख्श मरहूम का मस्कन था, मेरे रहने को दिलवा दो. गालिब यकशंबा 27 जुलाई 1862. Now I've not translated for the paucity of time, because if I translate तो मना भी खराब हो जाता है उर्दू पोइट्री का. And then last letter I would recite of Mirza Ghalib is, हाँ, ए मेरी जान ये वो दिल्ली नहीं है जहां तुम पैदा हुए हो, ये वो दिल्ली नहीं है जहां तुमने इल्म तहसील किया है, ये वो दिल्ली नहीं है जहां तुम शोबान बेग की हवेली में मुझसे पढ़ने आते थे, ये वो दिल्ली नहीं है जहां 7 बरस से आता जाता हूँ, ये वो दिल्ली नहीं है जहां 51 बरस से मुकीम हूँ. एक मिलिट्री कैंप है. Now I would like to conclude by reciting a small nazm by a very big fan of Mirza Ghalib, whose name is Faiz Ahmed Faiz. He wrote a nazm, a revolutionary nazm, which became a Bollywood ghazal and a very popular Bollywood ghazal thereafter. He wrote, मुझसे पहली सी मोहब्बत. What's it thereafter? Who will say? मुझसे पहली सी मोहब्बत मेरे महबूब ना मांग. मैंने समझा था कि तू है तो दरख्शां है हयात, तेरा गम है तो गम दहर का झगड़ा क्या है. तेरी सूरत से है आलम में बहारों को सबात, तेरी आंखों के सिवा दुनिया में रखा क्या है. तू जो मिल जाए तो तकदीर निगू हो जाए, यूं ना था मैंने फकत चाहा था यूं हो जाए, और भी दुख है जमाने में मोहब्बत के सिवा, राहतें और भी हैं वासुकी की राहत के सिवा, अनगिनत सदियों की तारीख वही माना तलस्म रेशमो अतलसों, काम ख्वाब में बुनाए हुए जा बजा बिकते हुए, कूचो बाजार में जिस्म खाक में लिथड़े हुए, खून में निलाए हुए, पीप बहती हुई गलते हुए नसरों से लौट जाती है उधर को भी नजर, क्या कीजिए अब भी दिलकश है तेरा हुस्न मगर क्या कीजिए, मुझसे पहली सी मोहब्बत मेरे महबूब ना मान। शुक्रिया बहुत बहुत, thank you very much. If you want to get the translation is all there on my YouTube channel. If you put in Major Mohammed Ali Shah on YouTube, it's very simple, you get my YouTube channel. A lot of poetry, a lot of drama, a lot of my analysis, a lot of my TEDx talks are there. Thank you very much. Cheers. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. And thank you so much, Muhammad Ali Shah. It's a very powerful presentation. And you have taken us into deeply into this, the letters that Ghalib wrote, because it tells us so much about the man that he was. It's those letters, and you present it so powerfully. And Urdu is a language that is gradually not being used, and we're talking about it. We want it back in our lives, and I think this evening has been very, very fruitful by having you bring us Urdu. I tried reading out some lines. I know I sounded more like a Bengali than but never give up. I never give up. Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, please convey my regards to Brigadier Gaur, our senior. He's a legend, truly a legend.
Thank you so much. Anybody else wants to say something about Major Saab's presentation? What about you, Satinder Kaur?
रंग जमा दिया आपने
इसलिए तो नहीं बोल रही
आने वाली नस्लें अपनी आंखों पे फख्र करेंगे कि उन्होंने इन आंखों को से फैज को देखा है, तो हम आज फख्र करेंगे कि हमने डॉक्टर मोहम्मद अली शाह को सुना है।
शुक्रिया मैम, शुक्रिया। इसलिए तो नहीं बोल रही क्योंकि आई सेड पूरा मैम इज वेरी नाइस, इसलिए तो नहीं बोल रही हैं आप? अच्छा, ओके।
You must come back again, Ali. You must come back again to our program.
I will.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Be around to listen.
Eloquence in expression. That is what I see here. And here too. Eloquence. What a wonderful. We imbibed in the, to listen and watch. It just gets carried away. And that is something Urdu, and I love always. I'm so influenced by this Urdu poetry, and thank you, Major Saab, for giving your twist of presenting Mirza Ghalib sir. बहुत को